Today we're talking with upcoming singer-songwriter Marissa Bregman. Hi Marissa, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. So tell me, how did you realize singing is what you wanted to do?
My whole life I've wanted to sing. I remember being really, really young and being inspired by the Disney movies, and in particular The Little Mermaid. I remember seeing that movie and just being so moved by the music and the songs in that film that I started to explore playing music. And my mom was a big influence on me as well. My mom gave me like a little Fisher-Price player when I was younger, and she would play me French songs and all these, give me all cassettes of all these different kinds of music. So that was definitely a big inspiration.
Very nice. So tell me, what type of sound does your music have?
I would say that it sounds a sound that is very timeless, but I wanted to make a modern record, so it's very current as well. But when I wrote it, it was very, very focused on pop and rock.
I see. And what are some of your favorite artists that you have today?
My favorite artist today, I would have to say, I think Wzra Jones is amazing right now. Sarah Bareilles, especially, she's fantastic. And there's so many I think there's so many artists out right now that are really good, but those two in particular are pretty fantastic to me.
Oh, absolutely. And tell us, what would you say differentiates you from other artists?
What makes me unique from other artists are, I have to say, my experiences here. I grew up in a family where my father was a movie producer and my mom was an actress, and I was exposed to a lot of different personalities, and growing up in New York City in particular really gave me a very unique perspective. The way I was able to take in a lot of art and culture, and I think that makes my music very unique because I have that perspective to really filter all through.
Absolutely. Your parents did have a good influence on you as well as your environment, right?
Yeah.
Tell us, do you have a CD out now?
I do. It's not out right now, but it will be coming out in the springtime.
Awesome. And tell us, what type of songs can we expect on the album?
The song, the record's called Parade, and I guess, again, we're in New York City. My manager said that it's a cross between Sgt. Pepper and Wzra Jones, which is kind of a good explanation of it.
Very nice. And tell us, where can your fans hear your music at?
Right now, the best place to go would be Facebook, and check the Facebook is Marissa Bregman. That Facebook, Marissa Bregman, and then the MySpace page, which is just Marissa Bregman, MySpace / Marissa Bregman, and then the Twitter, which is Marissa Bregman at Twitter.
Right, and I actually follow you on Twitter, so tell us, how do you like using it?
I love Twitter. I think it's an amazing way to communicate with the fans right now and really be able to express yourself,
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing.
Yes, and it's a great way to distribute your music as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And tell me, do you have a favorite tweet, either that you've tweeted or someone else that you've seen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the most recent tweet I tweeted I loved a lot, which was just staying at home with a warm blanket and a cup of tea and a good movie. And I mean, for me, that's something I love to do in the winter, especially on these cold, snowy nights. It's the best thing I think I could do, and I would want to do. So that, I really liked that tweet.
Absolutely. Sometimes the simplest tweets can be amongst the best. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us now, I actually have a couple Get to Know Marissa Bregman questions. Are you ready for these?
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty, the first one is, do you have any hidden talents or something we may not know about you?
Something you may not know about me. Well, I would have to say a lot of people might not know that I'm a multi-instrumentalist. On the record, I played guitar, I played piano, I also played bass amongst a lot of other instruments. At one point in the studio, we actually were inspired to try and create a drum beat out of using potato chip bags, which we experimented with, which was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's very neat. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now tell us, do you have a prized possession or something you can't live without?
I would have to say my guitar at this point.
Your guitar.
My guitar is absolutely my prized possession. I had to get a new one. It's kind of a a knockoff, like a little guitar that Ovation. I had an original guitar that I left in the back of a cab on the way to a recording session, which I had for 8 years, and losing it was kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, getting a new one was kind of like a new beginning. So it was absolutely, it was supposed to be.
Of course, yeah, very true. So, and now tell us your favorite fast food restaurant.
Fast food restaurant. New York Subway, I would say, is the best. I can't get enough Subway. And maybe it's just the New York City girl in me because I spend so much time on the Subway anyway.
It only makes sense. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how about, do you have a celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush? I guess I'm like all those girls out there. I can't get enough of Johnny Depp, and I guess the usual suspects in between Johnny Depp and George Clooney. For me, I love those two so much.
Absolutely, great actors. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of, how about your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? That's a good question. I saw Tangled over the holidays, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was. I thought it had such an amazing storyline, and also the visual aspect of it. Disney, for me, they always are a home run with the films they make. But I think actually Tangled probably will be one of my all-time favorites. I really loved it that much.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. All the movies, like you said, are great.
Yeah.
Yes. And now tell us, is there anything you want to tell your fans out there or about your music?
I would want to say to my fans that there's lots coming up. And thanks so much for just listening and hey, everything is going great so far. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, yes, and everyone make sure to follow Marissa on Twitter and stay tuned for her new music.
Thank you so much.